Good morning, everybody. Jeremy Brunansky here with Brunansky's Vlog. It's Monday morning. It's 10 a.m. PST right here on YouTube. We are getting ready to start a brand new episode of Brunansky's Vlog. Let's go ahead and check with YouTube, make sure we got a good connection and a good stream, and then we will get this week's episode started. We got a lot to talk about, so don't go anywhere. It looks like we got a green light, so we're good to go. We'll roll this intro, and we'll be right back with you. All right, and we're back. Good morning, everybody. I'm Jeremy Brunansky. This is Brunansky's Vlog, live on YouTube, where we talk movie news, movie reviews, and a little bit more. So before we jump into this week's episode, let's go ahead and take a quick second just to get the commercials out of the way, and then we'll get right into all the topics that we've got to discuss today. So real quick, make sure you're following us on Twitter and Stardust. Stardust is a social media app for movie reviews, and that's where I do all, or movie trailer reviews, and that's where I do all my movie trailer reviews at. So at Brunansky's Vlog for both Twitter and Stardust at Brunansky's Vlog. So make sure you're following us there. If this is your first time with us here on Brunansky's Vlog, thank you guys so much for joining. Hope you enjoy the content. If you do, go ahead and give me the thumbs up, because the thumbs up helps people who like movie-related shows find this movie-related show right here on YouTube. Also, don't forget to click the subscribe button and hit the bell. For everybody else who is a returning watcher, thank you so much. Again, as always, if you enjoyed it, please do consider hitting that thumbs up, because again, it helps people find movie-related shows when they're looking for them right here on YouTube. Now, we have got the 1-year anniversary episode down below in the show notes. So if you haven't, because we have been on YouTube for over a year now, so if you haven't yet seen the 1-year anniversary compilation video, I put the link for it down below in the description box. Just hit the arrow. It'll drop down. It'll give you all the articles we're going to discuss. It'll give you the 1-year anniversary plus the short film. So go ahead and check that out. Also, Yellowstone National Park in the Spirit of America, the short film that I recorded last month for a short film competition, was accepted into the competition. So pretty excited about that. It's up for a documentary right now, so that link is also below. So go ahead and check that out, and then head over to myroadreel.com, and then you can vote for it there as well. So again, Yellowstone National Park in the Spirit of America, it's a short film I did. It got accepted into the short film competition. The link is down below. Go ahead and check it out. All right, now we're gonna go ahead and move into this week's brand new episode. We've got a lot to talk about, so we're gonna go ahead and just jump right in right now to the news. All right, so down below you can see we got the ticker tape running there. That has got some additional news stories for everybody to check out. Now, these are just stories that I saw. I was like, oh, okay, that's interesting. But as you know, it goes. We only have so much time for the show, and I didn't really want to deep dive into some of these topics, but I still thought they were noteworthy. So keep your eyes on the ticker tape. Those are going to be some more honorable mention news stories right there. But let's go ahead and jump now right into the weekend box office. And we got some news stories. Right after that, we're going to take a look at 2 movie reviews. I got out to see The Meg and Dog Days. We're taking a look at those. Then we're going to take a look at what's hitting theaters this week, DVD and Blu-ray for your home theater this week, and finally, Certified Rad. So first news story today is first for box office results in the top 5. So on the show, we go from number 5 to number 1. Coming in at number 5, it's actually a tie for 4 and 5, and it's between Alpha and Mission Impossible Fallout. Both of these films are coming in at $10,500,000. Now, the interesting thing and why I'm going to give the edge to Alpha and put that in the number 4 spot and put Mission Impossible Fallout in the number 5 spot is because of the number of theaters that these films are in. So Mission Impossible Fallout is coming in at 3,482-ish theaters is how many are showing Mission Impossible Fallout, whereas Alpha is coming in with 2,719. So with about 700-ish less theaters showing Alpha, it's still making as much money as Mission Impossible Fallout, even though Mission Impossible Fallout is in its 4th week. we're still going to give the edge to Alpha because it's playing in less theaters and it made just as much money. So coming in at number 5 is Mission Impossible Fallout, even though it's a tie. And then coming in at number 4 is Alpha. And again, both of those at $10,500,000. Then we have Mile 22, Mark Wahlberg's new film, at $13,620,000. The Meg at $21,150,000. And Crazy Rich Asians coming in at the number 1 spot, a rom-com making $25,235,000. So great work to everybody involved with Crazy Rich Asians. I know I'm looking forward to seeing it. There's a lot of movies out right now I'm actually looking forward to seeing, but Crazy Rich Asians, definitely looking forward to. I like the actors in it. I'm a sucker for rom-coms. So, hey, what's not to like about it? Plus, just real quick, we have a 93% certified fresh tomato score. So on Rotten Tomatoes, it's certified fresh at 93%. And the cinema score, everybody who went out and saw it and then was giving their thoughts on it, gave it an A. So not only did it come in the number 1 spot, not only is the cast good, it's got a certified fresh score on Rotten Tomatoes, and the cinema score for people who already saw the film scored it with an A. So if you haven't seen it yet like me, there's definitely something to consider on getting out to check this film out and support this rom-com here now in the middle of August, as before we move into Oscar season films and stuff like that. So definitely looking forward to Crazy Rich Asians. The Meg, like I said, I got my review dropping right after the news for this movie. I did enjoy it. It was almost exactly what the trailer said it was going to be. But the surprising thing to me was how serious the film took itself. We'll talk a little bit more about that in the review later in the show, so stay tuned for that. Mile 22, Mark Wahlberg's back. I'm looking forward to seeing this. It looks like it's just going to be a really dope action movie, and that's really all I'm expecting from it is dope action scenes. So if it can deliver on that, I'll be happy. Mission Impossible Fallout, loved Mission Impossible Fallout. My review for that I gave while I was on the road. So 2 weeks ago, I believe I gave that review while I was in Canada. And the actual review is going to be dropping this week. I was able to get in yesterday here into the office and get all of the old movie reviews recorded and edited. So those are all going to be dropping on this channel later this week. So stay tuned for Mission Impossible Fallout. Stay tuned for, oh man, I'm having a complete brain freeze right now. Christopher Robin, The Spy Who Dumped Me. And then today we've got The Meg and Dog Days. So we got 5 movie reviews dropping this week. So stay tuned for all of those on the channel. Definitely click the subscribe button and hit the bell so you get notified when that drops. But I really liked Mission Impossible Fallout. After seeing this film, I really think that there's a strong argument to be made that the Mission Impossible franchise is probably one of the best action franchises in cinematic history. I'm not just talking like right now, because the first film started in 1996, right? The first Mission Impossible film, 1996, had the TV show before that. It's just been around for a long time. It's been a part of American popular culture, whether it's TV or film. But this franchise, again and again and again, single-handedly delivers great action and great suspense that just keeps you engaged from start to finish. And I think there's a strong case and a strong argument to be made for Mission Impossible being one of the best, if not the best, action franchise in cinematic history. So definitely check it out if you haven't seen it. And then Alpha, looking forward to that. Like I said, it's a story about, you know, a kid and a wolf who eventually becomes his dog. And that's the whole start of, you know, man and dog, man's best friend. So looking forward to it. It looks like it's going to be a good story. Just real quick, rounding out the top 10, we got Mamma Mia 2, Here We Go Again, Hotel Transylvania 3, Summer Vacation, Slender Man, Black Klansman, and Disney's Christopher Robin. So out of those films, Christopher Robin will be dropping my review later this week. Hotel Transylvania 3, Summer Vacation, that review is up on the channel right now in the movie review playlist. Check it out. And then Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again, and Black Klansman, I still want to get out to see. Looking forward to both of those films. Slender Man, not really a horror guy. If you're faithful watchers of the show, you know it. But if you are, comment below and let me know what you thought of the movie. Did it live up to your expectations for a Slender Man horror movie? Let me know in the comments below. All right, just real quick before we head out into the news stories, I just wanted to touch on, we're in the middle of the third quarter, right? Because it's August. We've already gotten through the first and second quarter of the year. We're halfway into the third quarter. Once we clear September and we're into Oscar season and we're starting the fourth quarter for films and everything else as far as business is concerned. But I looked at, because I was curious. I came into the office this morning. I was doing all the news stuff, the news roundup or whatever you want to call it. And I was like, I wonder what films were really hitting big over the year. So I just looked up the quarterly winners. So to see who so far this year has been the dominating film in each quarter. And to my surprise, it shouldn't have surprised me, but when I looked it up, I was like, wow, all 3 quarters are the same studio. And that studio is Marvel Studios, has taken the #1 spot all 3 quarters so far this year. So quarter 1, we had Black Panther. And then in the second quarter, we had Avengers Infinity War. And then in the third quarter so far, we have Ant-Man and the Wasp in the #1 spot. So all of these numbers are coming to us from the good folks over at Box Office Mojo. So you can check it out there to verify that. But all 3 quarters so far this year, Marvel Studios and Disney have taken the #1 spot. So great job, Marvel Studios and Disney. We got 2 news stories we're going to be talking about a little bit later that deal with the MCU. So we'll be back to talk about them in just a short few minutes. But first, let's go ahead and jump into some news stories really quick before we get into the movie reviews. First story is coming to us from The Hollywood Reporter, and Tim Tebow. That's right, Tim Tebow, the sidearm throwing quarterback, is making his debut in filmmaking. Him and his brother, according to the article. And again, these are all in the description box below. Just go ahead and click the arrow, expand the box. You can hit the link and follow along with us. Him and his brother Robbie are making their first faith-based movie, and it's going to be about brothers trying to overcome adversity through sports. A track star and the other is a football player. Now, in the article, it talks about how their mother dies, their father abandons them, and then one of the guys can't play football anymore, so his brother is trying to like keep everything going with track. Really, really deep stuff, right? So you've got a guy who believes he's a football player who can no longer be a football player. That's an existential crisis. It's a loss of identity. That's huge. Then you've got another brother who's trying to step up to the plate to take on and find his inspiration and find his purpose through sports. That's huge. A mother dies. Crazy impactful, right? And then the father just takes up and leaves. What is going on in this family? This is high drama. This is big emotional stakes at play. This sounds like it could be a really, really powerful film if done well, right? If it comes across as like a really strong, dynamic story about characters and overcoming adversity and overcoming struggle and refinding yourself and refinding your purpose and really moving in a positive direction forward, this could be killer stuff, right? But it also has that feeling that it could be leaning towards that made-for-TV movie kind of vibe. I can't really say for sure. I want to wait and see that first trailer before I start making any judgments on that, or, you know, at least giving my opinion on it. But it kind of feels like it could be one or the other, right? We could have like really strong Oscar contender for a human-centered piece, a human-centered film, because it's looking at these brothers going through a terrible time. And then also it has the feeling that it could have that feeling of like a made-for-TV kind of thing, and which hopefully is not the case, right? We're hoping for strong, dynamic performance because the story itself is already so strong. And I'm curious to see what Tim Tebow is able to bring to this story with his background in sports, right? So is that going to be, are the scenes where we're watching them be athletes going to feel real because of what he is used to seeing on the field and everything else? Could be, right? It could be a really good sports movie that also has the human-centered piece and that dynamic really pushing forward. So pretty excited to see more from this. Like I said, I'm going to wait for that first trailer before I start making any judgments, because if the trailer feels like a made-for-TV movie, that doesn't really bode well for the film. But if it delivers and it looks like it's going to be a really good sports drama piece, I'm definitely there. So let's go ahead and move into the next story now, coming to us from Deadline. This is Adam Sandler, Judd Hirsch, and A24 are coming together to make a movie called The Uncut Gems. And with this, in the article, it talks about how Martin Scorsese is actually one of the executive producers on the film as well. So when I saw it was Adam Sandler and Judd Hirsch, I was like, okay, this could be a really good mix of like comedy drama. And then when I saw that Scorsese was coming in, I was like, okay, this feels like it might be more of a drama. And I'm fine with that, because 2 of my favorite Adam Sandler performances for drama was Reign Over Me and Spanglish. I enjoyed his performance in both of those films. Obviously very different in regards to like what type of character he's playing, right? With Spanglish, he's a restaurant owner who's going through like a separation and divorce with his crazy wife. And then Reign Over Me, he's suffered severe trauma and he's kind of in like a weird state mentally. Just both very different characters, both very centered and focused on the individuals and that human aspect, again, just like we talked about with the Tim Tebow movie and the possibilities for that. So I really like how this is sounding. In the article, it talks about how Adam Sandler is going to be playing a character who he makes his fortune, or his life, at least his living, as a jewelry store owner. And then a robbery happens and all of his merchandise is stolen. Boom, right? World shattered. You just got to sit back and go, what is going on with my life? All of my livelihood has just been stolen from me. How do you recover from that? And you've got these two actors that I think can deliver both very powerful, dramatic performances stepping in. And then you got someone like Martin Scorsese coming in as well to executive produce it. So you know he's going to encourage even more talent into this film, hopefully. So I'm looking forward to this. This sounds like it could be something really special. A24 does a great job with their movies. If you haven't checked out A24, their website, go ahead and do that, because I'm sure you've seen their films and been like, holy cow, I didn't realize that was A24. They put out some really good stuff. So check it out. This sounds great. Let me know what you think in the comments section below. So the next two stories are coming to us from Screen Rant. Both of these are dealing with the MCU. And they just posted these articles about how there is a mystery movie listed on the Marvel slate for Phase 4. And it's supposed to be filming in 2019. And they're not really sure what this is because Marvel hasn't made any official announcements, right? So you got Captain Marvel, you got Avengers 4, and then you've got Spider-Man Far From Home, right? So those are the next three films that are slated for Marvel. And then with everything that's going on with Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, we're not quite sure if that's still fitting into the timetable or if that's going to need to be adjusted or pushed back as they try and find a new director. We don't know. So we're kind of just sitting here going, okay, well, what's the next film going to be for Phase 4 from Marvel? Even though we know that the first Phase 4 will be Spider-Man Far From Home, that's still Sony Marvel, not Marvel proper. So there is the difference. So we got to keep that in mind. So what's that first film going to be coming out the gate for Marvel? It looks like it could be up in the air right now. And there's a rumor that it could be leaning towards either Black Widow, the Eternals, and we've talked about the Eternals before on this show, or Doctor Strange 2, which I would love. I'm ready for a Doctor Strange 2. I'm leaning towards the Doctor Strange 2 because of the second article from Screen Rant, where the rumors are suggesting that Benedict Cumberbatch is going to be getting a significant raise for his portrayal as Dr. Stephen Strange in the next film. So he's already had 3 appearances, right? He had Doctor Strange, he had Thor Ragnarok, and then he has Avengers Infinity War. So this will be his 4th appearance as Doctor Strange. And they're looking at giving him a pay bump of about to go up from $6.4 to $9.6 million. So great job for him. I remember forever ago, this was before Benedict Cumberbatch was casted. I believe there was an interview where they were talking about the casting for Doctor Strange. And Kevin Feige said he wanted to get somebody that was going to be able to be there for the long haul, because at the time, this was way before casting was announced, he said that he wanted Doctor Strange at that time to kind of be the new guy to kind of usher in and move the series forward after Iron Man. And when I read that, I was like, I need to figure out who this Doctor Strange guy is, because if he's going to be that important to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, I should know about him. So then I started reading Doctor Strange comics, fell in love with the character. He's become one of my favorite Marvel characters of all time. And yeah, so I'm super excited about that. And to hear that we're getting the Doctor Strange 2 possibly, and again, it's all rumors, right? But with the talk of him possibly getting a pay raise, with the talk of that film being moved to possibly be the first film, I'm very hopeful for this. Scott Derrickson did a great job directing Doctor Strange. One of my favorite MCU films that has come out so far. Love it. If you haven't seen it, definitely check it out. Recommending you watch it on Blu-ray though, over streaming. It is on Netflix, but I recommend the Blu-ray because the sound on Netflix is super compressed and it bugs me. So check it out on Blu-ray for sure. So let me know what you think. Would you rather see Doctor Strange 2, The Eternals, or a Black Widow solo film as the first jump into Marvel Phase 4, Marvel proper, right? Because not Spider-Man Far From Home, but Marvel proper. What would you like to see as the first film jumping out the gate for Marvel Phase 4 after 10 years of storytelling finally concludes with Avengers 4? Let me know in the comments below. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and move now into the movie review section. Like I said at the top, we saw 2 films this week, Dog Days and The Meg. So we're going to jump into those reviews right now. After those are over, don't go anywhere. We got more to talk about. We're going to look at what's hitting theaters this week, what's arriving on DVD and Blu-ray for your home theater this week, and finally, my personal favorite, Certified Rad. So stay tuned for those. Those are coming right after the movie reviews. We're going to go ahead and move into those reviews right now. Leave your thoughts below if you've seen these films. Let us know what you thought. Get the conversation started, and then I will be right back with you after the reviews again to talk theaters, DVDs for your home theater, and Certified Rad. So stay tuned. We'll be right back. Dog lovers beware, because the hounds have been set loose in this charming story about the impact dogs have on us, the humans. Puppies are lost. Puppies are found. Puppies are aplenty as we journey through the city on multiple adventures and discover how these incredible bonds we form with our pets enrich our daily lives. So, does Dog Days deliver on the wolf-tastic fun that we saw in the trailers? Or should we put this film to sleep? Let's talk about it in this review. As a dog lover, I was immediately sold on this film after my first trailer viewing. The trailers conveyed a sense of believability that I think most dog owners and dog lovers can relate to in some way. And I'm happy to report that the movie delivers on exactly what the trailers promised, with a little bit more, because the tone of this movie is definitely a feel-good family movie. The movie is literally just good people going through different things in their personal lives, and the only real negatives or conflicts that arise are just little things that happen to each individual directly to help keep the plot moving forward. And one could make the argument that this film doesn't really have a single antagonist because of how many people are actually getting shared screen time throughout the course of this film. Each character has a different lifestyle adjustment that they have to overcome, which is different than squaring off against a central villain. So this film looks at individuals going through specific moments in their life that their dogs help guide them through, whether directly or indirectly. For example, we find out a young professional woman at the start of the film discovers that her boyfriend has been cheating on her. As we would expect, she is devastated. But eventually she meets a guy who she develops a special connection with over a series of dog dates. These are literally just days that are set aside, time that's set aside for them to go hang out and talk while their dogs run around and play together. Another young woman finds a stray dog and eventually her soulmate as she begins volunteering and spending more time at the dog shelter that took the stray Chihuahua in. She thinks she's found the man of her dreams, but soon discovers that it's the heart of another man who appreciates her and puts her first that wins her over. And again, this is all because of the Chihuahua and the dog shelter that took her in. And finally, we meet an older man who is a bit of a recluse, and because of the love he has for his dog, he finds new purpose and new meaning for his life, as well as what he can contribute to the community. The most surprising aspect of this story for me personally was how well constructed the story is. There's a lot of different people experiencing a lot of different things on screen for this film, and it never really feels convoluted or messy. Everything moves at a very clean and smooth pace from beginning to end, and the screen time is not wasted. What we get is what we need to understand how we're moving from point A to point B. It's one touching moment, or one comedic moment, or one tug at the heartstring moment after another, and this film never really ventures into bleak or what could be considered inappropriate territory for a family movie. It stays true to just good people doing good things with their pets, which made it a surprisingly delightful family movie. However, this does have that feeling of made-for-TV movie vibe in it, so there's that. Dog Days is playing at your local movie theater right now, and I am going to recommend a big screen viewing of this film if you're a dog lover like me. If you're not a dog lover, but you're a parent and your kids love dogs, this is definitely going to be one you're going to want to check out once it's available on Redbox or VOD, because it's just a good family movie. It's a well-constructed story about good people with kind hearts and their puppy dogs and the adventures they go on together. There are universal moments for us dog lovers that appear on screen that will definitely make you feel all sorts of emotions. And it's exactly because of this film's ability to deliver those believable and relatable moments on screen, plus all of the wonderful and adorable footage of these comedic puppy dogs that are getting this film at least one high five from this guy. Dog Days is playing at your local movie theater right now. Check it out. Maybe take your dog, it kind of feels appropriate. The ocean is largely unexplored, which makes for some exciting possibilities if you're an underwater explorer. You never know what you might find, and there is some exciting possibilities to leave your mark on the scientific community if you discover something truly unique. For example, a gigantic prehistoric shark that is believed to have been non-existent for well over a century. So, does the Meg deliver all of the over-the-top, tongue-in-cheek shark fest goodness promised in the trailers? Or should we throw this film into the deep blue sea with the chum for Jaws to consume? Let's talk about it in this review. I was honestly surprised by how serious this film took itself. I assumed that based on the trailers, this film was just going to revel in all the nonsensical B-movie glory that we wanted to give it. And it definitely has those B-movie moments in there like that for like half the film. But then the other half is trying to give us real emotional moments that are dramatic, filled with loss and romance. So its unbalanced tone made for a curious movie-going experience overall, but when I left the theater, I was still happy with the time I spent watching the movie. I appreciated the Jaws reference late in the film with the boy at the beach, and I even appreciated how Jason Statham uses his underwater cruiser as a sword to slice the giant shark wide open, and then gets out of the underwater cruiser and goes hand-to-hand to combat with the shark underneath the water. The reason for how the Meg gets to the surface level was actually told pretty creatively. Plus, there's helicopters, underwater explosions, and sharks of all shapes and sizes making cameo appearances throughout the film. So if you're like me and you look forward to Shark Week and you enjoy sharks in general, this film will not disappoint. The characters in this movie also all serve a purpose. As one would expect, they all have a specific and unique skill set that would be useful and appropriate in an underwater research facility. And we even have one little girl who provides some charm and humor to a story about a shark who is basically just eating anything and everything it can in its path. So thankfully, all of the characters and their personalities add something fun and entertaining to the story. However, on the flip side to that, some of the characters have such little screen time that when they do die, the impact of their death isn't as great as I think they wanted it to feel, because we don't really have a lot of time to get to know these characters or kind of understand why they're important or what the dynamic is that they share with everybody else in the research facility. The Meg is playing at your local movie theater right now, and I am going to recommend that all shark lovers enjoy a big screen viewing of this film. If you're the type of person who thinks Shark Week is dumb and you don't understand why some guys get excited when Shark Week arrives, I am definitely not going to recommend that you spend your hard-earned dollars or your time in the theater on this film. But for all the shark lovers out there looking forward to their viewing, this film I personally feel like did deliver on the story it wanted to tell with some issues in tone that we did discuss. Plus, there's more than one giant shark in this movie. So the first half of the movie feels like The Meg, and then the second half of the movie feels like its own sequel, Mama Meg. The story kept me entertained from beginning to end, and I actually laughed more than I thought I would when I walked into the theater. So for these reasons and the others that we discussed in this review, The Meg is getting at least one high five from this guy. The Meg is playing at your local movie theater right now. Check it out, fellow shark lovers. All right, and we are back. And we're gonna finish this show off looking over at the timer here. We're closing in on 30 minutes. So we're gonna try and keep these last three segments as brief as possible without being too wordy. So let's go ahead and move really quick into what's hitting theaters this week. All right, in theaters this week, The Happy Time Murder and Papillon. Out of these two films, I cannot wait to see The Happy Time Murders. It looks like it's going to be completely ridiculous, absolutely inappropriate, irreverent comedy and fun. Very excited to see this movie. And then Papillon, I did not see the original, so I'm not entirely sure what to expect from this remake. The trailers have looked pretty good. It looks like it's going to be a really good piece about overcoming struggles and challenges. You know, obviously they're locked on an island prison, so excuse me. So obviously there's something to be said for that. So looking forward to both of these, but very excited about The Happy Time Murders. All right, coming out on DVD, we've got God's Not Dead, A Light in Darkness, Show Dogs, and Deadpool 2. So out of these three films, I saw Deadpool 2. So if you want to see my review for that, you can go ahead and check that out in the movie review playlist. it is waiting for you there. God's Not Dead, A Light in the Darkness, obviously a follow-up to the other God's Not Dead movie. This is a faith-based religious film, so if you are leaning towards that with your own personal life, maybe you want to check it out. Show Dogs did not see the trailers, looked absolutely horrible. I had no desire to see this film at all based on the trailers, and as such, I did not see it in theaters. But if you did and you enjoyed it, let me know in the comments below. All right, we are going to move now into the last segment of the show, and that is coming to us actually from Fox News, and it is the Certified Rad segment. You guys never know what's going to drop, but I can guarantee whatever drops will most definitely be Certified Rad. If you're new to the show and you don't know what Certified Rad is just a topic, a story about people helping people, maybe a book review, a tech review. It doesn't matter. If someone sends it to me, if I find it, if they're like, hey, check this out, I think it's pretty rad, I'll look it over. If it is, we certify it rad right here on this show. And today is coming to us from Fox News. And again, this link is in the show notes below. A great white shark kills a dolphin and then loses its meal to a bigger great white shark. Pretty crazy stuff. Now, normally the story would just kind of like be, okay, cool. It's a story about how sharks are attacking each other. No big deal, but we actually have video footage, and that's what makes this certified rad. So the video footage is coming to us from Australia. It's a bunch of guys who are out oyster farming, and you actually, in the video, they show you part of the boat where they're kind of like moving over to get to see the sharks again. So you get to see the oysters and everything like that in their little bundles that they have on the ship. But what's super cool about this is not the footage like initially, because it takes about 3 minutes before you actually see stuff. The first 3 minutes is like the shark circling around the dolphin who's just kind of like laid out. And then the great white shark is carrying the dolphin in its mouth, which makes the great white shark look huge because dolphins, and pretty much, I think most people have like a general idea of how big dolphins are, right? So when you see this great white shark carrying this dolphin, you're like, holy moly, this thing looks huge. And then all of a sudden, like, you see this other great white shark come in and like they're fighting over it in the water, and they got it on video, and it's around like the 4 minute or 5 minute mark. And then you see the bigger great white shark like carry off its prize. Like, super crazy stuff. Like the bigger one comes right under the boat. It freaks everybody out, right? It's video recording, so you get to hear everybody freak out. They do a pretty good job of bleeping out the expletives. So if you've got kids around and you want to watch this, and it's Nature Channel and stuff like that, you can go ahead and do that. Just, you know, be aware that they are using some salty language. They are sailors out on the water. So, you know, be prepared for that. But the website does a pretty good job of bleeping out that language. So you don't need to worry about your kids hearing foul language this early in the morning. Or if you're at work and you got this on and you're not listening to it through headphones or something like that, you don't need to worry about, you know, offending your coworkers in the cubicles surrounding you, because again, they do a pretty good job. But definitely check out the video if you like sharks. We talked about the Meg and how the Meg is like the Meg, and then it's like the Meg 2, right? And now we've got a great white shark, and then like an even bigger great white shark. Sharks on sharks on sharks on sharks today. Crazy stuff. Definitely check out the video though. It's pretty cool. Like I said, you're gonna want to get to about the 3 minute mark, and that's when things start to pick up. And then from like 3 to 5 minutes is like, that's the good stuff, right? So you have been given your timetables for that video. So check it out. Definitely certified rad, nature in action happening right there with like real life people just using their smartphone to video it. Crazy stuff. Definitely certified rad. All right, guys, that's it for us. We are just past 30 minutes. We're about 33 minutes. So sorry for going a little long today. Try and keep it, you know, within that tight window there for everybody who's at work or at home. And I'll let you get back to your morning now. I'm Jeremy Brunansky. This is Brunansky's Vlog. We'll see you next Monday, 10 a.m. PST with another brand new episode right here on YouTube. Again, just real quick, don't forget to follow us on Twitter at Brunansky's Vlog, on Stardust at Brunansky's Vlog. Click the subscribe button if you haven't yet. Hit the bell so you get the notifications. Also, don't forget to give me the thumbs up if you liked any of today's show, because the thumbs up helps people who like movie-related shows find this movie-related show right here on YouTube. All right, everybody, I'm going to get out of here. Again, I'm Jeremy Brunansky. Thank you guys so much for watching this week's brand new episode. Hope you have a great week. Hope you're able to get out to the movies to see what is in theaters, because there's a lot of stuff in theaters right now. So definitely check it out. And then, yeah, have a great week. We'll see you next Monday. And as always, and until next time, good night and good luck.